This is the number one problem with mankind. This is the number one problem on planet Earth. Without a doubt, in my somewhat humble opinion, the number one problem on planet Earth is absolutism. Now, the root word of absolutism is absolute, right? So, you know what that kind of means. It's like, this is absolutely this, it's absolutely that. Basically, this is mankind's problem, the human race's problem, from unity, from peace, joy, prosperity, from balance and flow, that the universe so desires for us is this one thing. Because everybody puts a box on everything, everybody thinks in a linear time frame from A to Z, black and white. Absolutism. This is the definition of absolutism. I'm looking at it right here on Google. The acceptance or belief in absolute principles in political, philosophical, ethical, or theological matters. Wow. That encompasses everything in life from A to Z. Political matters, boy, do we know that now, especially going on with the debates, the presidential debates and everything, right? Political problems, this problem, that problem. If we don't have this, this is going to happen. This, if we don't get that, if that doesn't stop this, listen, there are black and white solutions to problems in life, without a doubt. But our consciousness, our perception as a human race cannot live in this reality. Because the bottom line is the universe, everybody, is so vast. It's so infinite. There's no beginning, no end. It's so eternal. Scientists like to say the Big Bang Theory is when everything started. But guess what? They can't account, of course, in their human intellect, what happened before the Big Bang. There always has to be a before. Without a doubt, there's no beginning, there's no end. So knowing that on a universal perspective, the cosmos, or even down to a leaf that you could hold in your hand, or like your thumbprint or your fingerprint, that's all part of the universe, right? We're all part of creation. So when it comes to absolutism, when we're thinking that who's the president is going to change planet Earth, yes, there will be things that get better and there'll be things that get worse. I know people that have actually prospered, have had prosperity and health and everything good during the pandemic here. Now, there's a lot of people that haven't had that. There's a lot of people that have died. There's a lot of people that have lost their jobs, their businesses, and everything. But people, as the old saying goes, and it's hard, and this is hard to do. This goes for me and every one of you out there. It is hard to see the big picture. We always lose sight. We always forget what the big picture is. The big picture is starting to realize that we don't know everything, that the world and existence and the universe is a lot bigger than we could ever conceive. Ever. Look at this. Political, philosophical. There's so many schools of philosophy, psychology in the world. There's not one that's wrong. There's not one that's bad. They're just different opinions. And check this out. I heard Sadhguru say this, the great yogi. He goes, there's your personal truth and there's universal truth. There's certain universal truths that are weaved within our own individual personal truths. So this is why theological, ethical matters. Yes, there's certain things that are wrong. Is it right to molest a child? No. There's certain things that are black and white. Yeah, you know, there's that old crazy organization, NAMBLA, right? The Man Boy organization, which allows, I don't. It went out. Of course, it's not existing anymore, but it allows men to have a relationship with boys. It's insane. Grown men, right? So yes, we know certain things are crazy. There's obvious things. We're not to go up to somebody in the street and say, "Bang, you're dead." You can't lose your common sense, but you can't depend on your intellect solely either. You cannot depend on your intellect, your human intellect. You cannot deify your human intellect because your state of being goes beyond logic. It goes beyond your intellect. Some people say about the coronavirus, there's people that are healthy. There's people that are healthy that are dying, and that might be true. I'm not completely sold on that, but I guess it is true, but I don't know. I just have a problem with people that are over 100 with their immune systems kicking the shit out of the virus, and then there's people that are 18 years old dying from it perfectly healthy. That's another story for another day, and I don't want to get into issues. I don't want to get into things that are going on in the world right now, but just to use purely hypothetical examples, the whole world is in a state of flux right now, more than it's ever been. There is a lot of enlightened souls and enlightened beings, but not many at all. I think there, of course, there needs to be more. And obviously, the more we see, the more we will see that us as the part of the creation will be in the flow with the rest of creation in the world. So think about it. Absolutism, without a doubt, is the number one issue. The number one issue, the acceptance or belief in absolute principles that cannot be broken, that cannot be thought otherwise. Political, philosophical, ethical, or theological matters, okay? Not everything's black and white, everybody. Here's another example. There's people that are pro-life. I'm pro-life, but I'm pro-choice at the same time. I'm sorry, and you could disagree. You could agree to disagree, which I have another video on that if you look. That is our greatest power, to agree to disagree. And people that are insecure with themselves and that cannot resolve or put closure on certain issues in life need to impose that on other people to reinforce the things that they're trying to convince themselves to believe that they really don't believe and have questions about deep down inside. We all do this. We all do this. Absolutism, everybody. This is crazy stuff. Like, it's crazy. I'm going to end with this because as I get older, as I accept more and more and see the awareness, the reality of my mortality. I was born, I'm going to die one day. In this body, I'm going to leave and to go on to something else, which is greater than this, right? I don't know what it is, but I know it is greater. Might be another life. I might be a cat. Who knows? I might be, in heaven with Jesus. See, I don't put a box on anything anymore. I really, really don't, because the more I live, the more I find I have more questions to life than answers, everybody. And that's a great place to start, and I'll leave off with that. As you're older, as you get older, as you live life more and more on your journey, try to question things. Try not to have absolutism. Try not to make conclusions. Conclusions are the worst things. We all do it, all right? I have them. I got my pet peeves. I'm not perfect, and I'm not going to say this is perfect, but this is something to try to be aware of. I'm not going to even say to aim for, because you can't aim for it perfectly to be a non-absolutism person. You cannot aim for it absolutely or perfectly, no pun intended. So realize in life, like me, I hope you can come to this awareness. The older you get, the more questions you'll have than the answers in life. And I'll leave off with this. The great astrophysicist, Neil deGrasse Tyson, said this. It's unbelievable. It's like an ad on YouTube. You've probably seen it. He goes, he says, this is the human dilemma. I hope I get it right. To know about a thing enough to believe you're right. To know enough you can know enough about a thing to believe you're right, but not enough about that. No, here it goes. You can believe enough. You can know enough about a subject to believe you're right, but not enough about that subject to know you're wrong. And what does that mean? We'll never know it all. We might gain some knowledge and wisdom here and there, but I'm telling you, everybody, an absolutist or an absolutism mentality and perception is the number one problem for mankind. Try to understand this. Try to be conscious of this. Take care. Bye-bye.